KPP 220 Cameron Leslie presentation. Getting a Grammy, created, starring, and directed by Derek Milton, is a comedy short documentary released in 2020 revolving around a man who kind of won a Grammy but also didn't win at the same time, and is on a journey to prove to his friends that he did in fact win a Grammy. All documentaries fall under one or more of the 6 categories: expository, observational, participatory, reflexive, performative, and poetic. Getting a Grammy falls under the performative mode with aspects of the participatory mode as well. The performative mode of a documentary follows the filmmaker's journey and involvement in the story. Throughout the entirety of Getting a Grammy, the sole filmmaker behind the documentary, Derek Milton, is the main subject of the documentary, with Derek being the only narrator in the film, telling his own story about his own event with a direct experience that is of Derek's. An example of this would be in the opening scene of the documentary, when Derek explains how he technically won a Grammy Award, but he isn't one of the main workers on the music video, so he isn't getting an actual award. As Derek narrates his first-hand experience with the story, it is a prime example of the performative mode of the documentary, with aspects of the participatory mode within the documentary leading to an interesting discussion. Much like a performative mode documentary, a participatory documentary is centered around the filmmaker, but one of the main differences between the two is that within the participatory documentary, the people being interviewed are much of the center of the content within the documentary. To me, this is an interesting discussion because within the documentary, a lot of the content is the filmmaker partaking in the phone conversations or conversations over text message. These can't be considered as interviews, but they are the filmmaker's own conversations that he has, and to me, I believe that this would label one of the modes in the documentary being participatory, and it involves the filmmaker participating in numerous conversations. The style that Derek Milton brings to this documentary is a very unique way of storytelling. Throughout many and most documentaries, the imagery is always moving. There are always moving shots, but what makes Getting a Grammy so unique compared to other films is that there is next to none of this. No moving imagery, pretty much majority of the film's imagery are still images, almost as if the filmmaker Derek Milton is giving a presentation about his direct experience with the story. To me, this is an incredibly rare sight, as most documentaries you would expect a piece to camera or a series of interviews. But throughout majority of this film, it is just still images. I believe this unique style that is within the documentary, Getting a Grammy, pairs extremely well with its relationship with the modes of the documentary. The relationship with the style of the mode work best with the performative mode of the film. The performative nature of the film is the filmmaker telling his direct experience with the story, and the unique way this is portrayed works in favor of the storytelling. On Text, a short documentary with imagery of only still images, does not sound that interesting, but with witty storytelling that hooks the viewer immediately, it makes it engaging, and every component of the film works perfectly together, down to the style of the film, the creativity behind the storytelling, the mode of the documentary itself, and the content of the film all benefit each other and work amazingly to simply tell the story of how a man kind of won a Grammy. Thank you.